up everyone, welcome back to another review, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Axis Newport. It's one of the most recent yo-yos that Axis Yo-Yos has came out with in the past couple of months. And in this video I'm just going to be going over the different features of the yo-yo, how it plays, and stuff like that. So you guys already know what to expect from the review. And as always, I'll be going over 5 different sections of the review. I'll be going over history, construction, trick handling, playability, and finally my overall opinions on the yo-yo. So I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so now starting off with the history of the yo-yo. So the Newport was originally meant to be a new type of design to be more unique, more affordable in its price range. I believe that the Newport is about maybe $65 something like that. So that really places it in between, like, you know, that mid-range price setting for yo-yos that you see nowadays. And yeah, it's just really just a more unique shape with its really organic profile and sort of like wavy indents in the cup. I'll go over more on the design in the construction section. The Newport is a little bit more refined of a yo-yo compared to other yo-yos that you see in its price range. Of course, that's completely subjective to you know, a lot of different people, but you know, me personally, I think it's extremely well refined for its price. Hey everyone, welcome to the construction section of this review, and in this section I'll just explain the specifications of the design and further detail. As you can see, here's the Newport up close. You can see it has a pretty flared out shape with a indent on the rims right here. Now you would think because of that it would be more rim heavy, but the Newport actually has more of a mixture between center weight and rim weight. So it's an extremely balanced yo-yo. And you can sort of see how the inside of the hub area sort of like dips in, sort of like a wave. And it goes into another step before getting to a completely flat hub area. I'll go over the specifications of the Newport. So the diameter is 56.50 millimeters, the width is 43.90 millimeters, the gap width is 4.60 millimeters, the weight is 66.1 grams, and the bearing is a concave bearing. Let me take the string out really quick. You could sort of see that right there. And the response is just regular CBC 19mm response pads. Now I'm just gonna compare the Newport to other yo-yos that other people might have in their collection, so they can sort of just compare the size of the Newport to the yo-yos that they might have. Here is a Shuta. Now the Shuta is pretty much the exact same specs besides the material and the weight from the shutter. So if you guys have a shutter or a shutter wide angle, you can sort of just compare it too. So the diameters, I believe, are almost exactly the same. I think the Newport maybe just a little bit bigger in diameter. I'm trying to line it up as perfectly as I can, as you can see right there. And then here are the widths, almost exactly the same. So you can sort of see what I mean, that the Newport pretty much hits home directly in the mid-price sort of you know, area, such as, you know, comparing it to like the Shutter, the Shuta, you know, other yo-yos in this price range, and it sort of shares similar specs. Just really that in-between middle ground that most people can play with. You know, it's not too heavy, not too light. You know, it's pretty much an in the middle sort of yo-yo. And here is comparing it to an Edge. So the diameter is a little bit bigger than the Edge, but the width on the Edge is obviously, you know, a lot wider than the Newport. So you can sort of expect, you know, the size difference between the Newport and the other yo-yo. Alright, so now moving on to the trick handling section of the review. So in this section I'm just going to go over a few categories of tricks that I think the Newport can handle well in. And with that, I'm going to start on with speed. The Newport, I found through playing with it, it's a really balanced yo-yo, meaning that the weight isn't too rim heavy or too center heavy. It's more like, I would say, a slightly more rim heavy, of course, but it still has that center weight, and because of that it gives it more of a solid feeling. And because of that, I feel like the Newport does move extremely fast, you know, because of that a center weight and sort of mixture between rim weight. You know, and I feel like that really aids when doing certain speed combos and different maneuvers, because center weight, believe it or not, can actually help, you know, some speed players, because of the center mass is more focused towards the string. So the overall feeling of the yo-yo, it would be more floatier or more nimble in a sense, if you guys know what I'm talking about. That are more rim heavy, which are bimetals, they tend to kind of be a little bit more solid. Like, you can tell it's rim heavy, you know, when you're playing with it. Honestly, it's just one of those things that's just really subjective from player to player. And honestly, for me personally, you know, those two factors don't really bother me when I'm trying to do rail combos or speed combos. Now moving on to tech or technical tricks. So as I stated before, the Newport has a very balanced feel, has a very center but, you know, not too heavy rim weighted feel. And again, that helps with its nimbleness and its maneuverability. And the overall shape and size, I'd say, is geared more towards technical type of tricks, even though it has like a really wide, flared out profile, which is good for extreme tricks like horizontals and lacerations and stuff like that. But yeah, it's overall just, you know, nimbleness, its lightness and maneuverability just really aids with players doing intricate tech tricks. And the overall size, it isn't really that big of a yo-yo. It's right in the middle at around like 55 centimeters in diameter, I believe. And you know, that overall just helps with technical tricks. Now moving on to how the Newport handles and grinds. So the Newport has a very flared out and rounded shape, and you know, combined with like this really great sandblasting that Axis did, they did a really great job on this. It just really just like holds your finger really well when you're doing finger grinds. You can't really do thumb grinds. There is like a little indent in the lip right here. You know, it's possible to do thumb grinds if you're into that. And finger spins, because of this flat area right here, it's like really easy to pull off. And I find that, you know, because of that, you know, mixture of center and rim weight mass, the yo-yo has a tendency to spin, I wouldn't say a little bit longer compared to other yo-yos with other weight distributions, but I would say it spins a little bit more smoothly, if that makes even more sense. Horizontal. Now, as I stated previously before, the Newport has a lot of maneuverability and nimbleness for, you know, how the yo-yo's weight is distributed. And I find it really easy to, you know, go through horizontals and different combos in off-plane tricks. And also, you know, the overall shape, because it's so wide and flared out, I, you know, think that also helps in it too. So now moving on to the playability section of the review. So as I stated previously before in the trick handling section, the Newport has a overall like really nimble, maneuverable, sort of floaty nature to it. Now, because of the way that the first run Newports are, the green ones, like the one that I have right here, they tend to play a little bit more airy, a little more floaty, a little more lighter. And the blue ones tend to play a little bit more solider, a little more stable. It depends on what color you get, because the play is, you know, slightly different, you know, between the colors. It's not that much of a difference, but that's one thing to point out if you plan on buying yourself a Newport, is that the green ones are a little bit lighter and the bluer ones are a little more solider. And yeah, so it kind of just depends on what you want, but overall, really both of the colors of the yo-yos play pretty much the same. It's just those slight differences that are, I guess, you know, worth pointing out. And I feel that the overall consensus on how the Newport feels is that it has a hint of floatiness while still being solid and stable, and it's really maneuverable through different tricks and combos. And the Newport really reminds me of the way that older CYWs used to play, in the sense that a lot of them were, you know, solid, or a lot of them were like really floaty and airy. And I feel that the Newport is kind of a throwback feeling. It's kind of reminiscent to, you know, how a lot of CYW yo-yos played, you know, back in the day. I also feel that the play is a little more nuanced with the Newport, probably more than other yo-yos, because like it really just does depend on how you play with it, what kind of tricks you're doing with it, and just overall how you feel about the yo-yo. Moving on to the last section of the review, my personal opinion section. It has kind of an unforgiving feel, meaning that sometimes the yo-yo might snag because of like a little bit of an indent in the response area, and as well as like the edges on the outside of the organic shape are pretty sharp. And just the overall nature of, you know, those two factors combined, you know, it kind of makes the Newport feel a little bit shaky when doing certain combos that might snag a lot, especially speed combos and, you know, stuff of that of the nature. But honestly, that's just a little nitpick. You know, for me personally, it hasn't really been that much of a factor. I haven't really thought about it too much, but it's one thing to point out. That's, you know, the case with countless other yo-yos, but I feel that it's more prevalent in the Newport. I stated before, the different colors and how different they play between, you know, each color. they can be seen as, as a disadvantage to some people, because, you would want a yo-yo no matter which color you get to play exactly the same as another person who got that same yo-yo, right? So it can kind of cause a little bit of confusion or a little bit of disarray, but again, it's just another nitpick, honestly. The newer Newports have a more consistent feeling to it, so if you guys plan on getting a Newport, I would recommend you get the newer ones. I'm pretty sure they're not on sale right now, actually, so you would have to hit up James Reed on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and just see, if he can hook you up. The Newport is one of the best yo-yos that I've played in this segment, which means that it's one of the best yo-yos that I've played within that mid-price segment. I've tried the shutter wide angle, I've tried, just a bunch of other yo-yos like within that same, bracket, that mid-price bracket. I'll say that the Newport has probably the most to offer within that segment, and obviously that's just my own opinion, but I've had like a really fun time with playing with the Newport. It strikes that really good balance between competition-oriented yo-yo and a really just fun recreational yo-yo. Newport is just a great yo-yo all around. You could do anything, with it. You could do horizontals, grinds, lacerations, tech, speed, whatever you want, basically. And I would say that you would probably be hard-pressed in finding a yo-yo that's so balanced in this price range, with along it being a little bit more unique in the shape and the weight distribution than other yo-yos in this price range. Hey everyone, so hope you guys enjoyed that review. I had a really fun time playing with the Newport, and I honestly think it's a really underrated yo-yo. It's kind of one of those releases that flew under the radar for most people because Access hasn't been, that active lately. But with the new management that's going on, and with some new stuff that are coming up from the company, I believe that they're gonna make their mark again in the community. It just gives players another option out there if they don't want to spend too much money, but still they want a high quality product that competes with like $100, $200 yo-yos of today. There are going to be more reviews and other videos of the stores later on this month. I'm working on them currently right now, and I really hope you guys enjoy what's going to be coming out of this channel. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's in the description down below, as well as other links to my other social media sites. And as well as don't forget to follow my sponsors, Sengoku Yo-Yos, on Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, just almost all social media platforms. As always, browse my channel, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as that notification bell so that you guys can be updated on any videos that I might upload. Today is actually finals at Nationals, so congrats to all the finalists and everyone who made it out there. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it out there this year. But one of these years I will, so congrats to all of you guys who like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and yeah, later everyone.